All right, 1:30. The purpose of this meeting is to have Brian describe to us what I describe as a terms sheet. Basic terms and conditions, basic terms of the proposed agreement with our ADO to port. Where Brian and I left it last week was that Brian would tell us the essential ingredients of it. We could have a brief discussion and then vote on. Sound about right, Brian?
Yeah, I think Crystal brought John up to speed on what happened roughly last week, or at least he has an idea of it, I think. And basically we have, in my mind, three key areas that we still need to come to consensus on, or at least come to decision on, in the agreement with the port, the 09 funds agreement. And that is the effective date, the termination date, and the term, as far as the amount of the award.
Right.
So I would, without belaboring this, I would make a motion to propose an effective date of April 1st, 2024 for the requested 09 economic development personnel funds to the Port of Pend Oreille County.
You want to do them individually?
I'm going to do them individually just to get it done.
All right, yeah, that sounds good to me. Or I'll second that if that's a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Okay, and then I would make a motion to propose the termination date of March 31st, 2026 for the requested economic development personnel funds to the Port of Pend Oreille, and noting that that is 2-year term.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I do. This takes it out of synchronization with the state bus and state designation. What is the reason for that?
I'm not even sure that's totally accurate. Robert, I believe the state, and we have the port here and they can clarify that.
Okay.
I believe the state designation is for them to finish out a short term of what was left of the EDC's term, and then to start over again with a 2-year term after that. You can clarify that. I'm still trying to get that in my mind, Kelly.
So the only difference would be the ADO contract with the state would expire on 6/30 of 26.
Yeah, there's a couple of months there.
26.
Can we just amend that for June 26th? Can we get them lined up?
Oh, no, my bad.
She misread.
See, now you got me. So
Too many dates in my head.
too many dates. So the
Yes.
ADO contract will not start with the state until 7/1/24. Okay, that's when the ADO contract will start. It's only for a year, so then it would be 6/30/25.
Right. So this does split it.
So this,
Split.
if you want to line them up, then then it either has to go to 25 or extend
to 27.
to 27.
Those are 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
Normally.
The ADO contract is a 2-year contract normally, but because of the EDC stopping midstream, not having a signed contract, and then this process taking a while to get done, I always want to say Commerce said it would start 7/1 and end 6/30/25.
And that would be something like a 15-month contract to do it that way.
With Commerce
It would be a 12-month plus the remaining 3 months on this one.
on yours,
So you
on the one.
Right, but you're proposing
2 years,
2 years.
which does split them, as Robert suggested.
Are there disadvantages for being out of sync? I mean, it's an opportunity to kind of solve this universally.
You want my suggestion?
Do we know? I would love to hear it.
Okay, I would love to see, since this has been so long being done, giving us 12 months to get something done as the ADO. We're barely getting out of the chute. I would like to see the ADO through 6/30 of 27 and tie this one right to it.
Very well said. I think for my purposes, I think there needs to be some longevity, and to create a program and an organization, to me, 2 years is an appropriate amount of longevity. With regards to greater strategy as that relates to the ADO contract, we can have a discussion about that and what that looks like. I don't think there's any intentionality in splitting that or anything around that. And my idea is strictly longevity and to create an organization that has some permanence and some functionality. And when I say permanence, I mean that we can lay a foundation for future success. That's my thoughts of 2 years. That's why I think it's appropriate. And I think you're the one that asked the question, Robert.
Any other comments?
So to me, Brian, that is neither. A 2 year is not, a 2 year doesn't line us up with the 27. So could we have it June of 26? And then that would leave us with a 1 year contract to line it back up at that point, or whoever's commissioner at that, on that date.
Oh yeah, to sync them.
Right.
I'm not,
Because this is a proposed termination date for the contract, right? So could we make that June 30th of 26 instead of March? I think the March is,
it ties it to the ADO designation.
it's completely arbitrary there. I seconded the motion and I'll support it, but I would prefer the motion was amended to be June 30th, 26.
Is that an amended motion?
You'd have to amend the motion.
Yeah, I'd have to amend the motion. Thank you.
But I'll support it this way, and we can iron it out as we go.
Okay. Well, Robert, you would like to see them synced on the same date?
Yeah.
Okay. I would amend my motion to John's proposal then, that we make the termination date effectively June 1st or 30th of 2026.
I'll second the amended motion.
We have an amended motion and a seconded amended motion. Any further discussion? So I will say I will vote no for 3 reasons. One, it is not synchronized with the state. This is midterm. From my perspective, if it were synchronized with the initial ADO term, to June 30th of 2025, that is sufficient time to demonstrate capacity and performance. And the third reason is that we in this chamber previously had discussed the underlying motivations, which I will choose not to get into, for the court seeking a longer term. In pretty good of an order, I will leave it at that. I've said my piece. Are there any final comments people would like to make before I call the vote?
Yeah, I'll say, to be clear to the parties present, this would be, my preference would be to do it this way under the operating assumption that we would do a 1-year contract after this, or everything going as planned, going well, to resync it then. So I want to be very clear about that, to go from a 2+ year contract down to a 1-year contract. Let's create this benchmark or this earmark right here, why that would be a wise. For the other, I've seen it both ways, but I have very rarely seen things move quickly in government and quickly in Ponderay County, even more so. So a good solid test period, I'm okay with that and support it this way.
All those in favor say aye.
I,
All those opposed say nay. Nay. Motion carries. Next one, please.
so we've accomplished the effective and the termination. And my third motion is a motion to propose the not to exceed per year amount of $140,000 for 09 economic development funds to the port, and those were for the personnel funds.
And where we left it last time was, I asked the question, why? Their proposal is $105,000. What is the compelling business case that can be made to both this body and the people of Pend Oreille County for having accepted and made a designation as the ADO on an amount of money that the port requested? Why are we now increasing the amount of money out? My question was why, so please explain.
Well, I think from my understanding, and I definitely would give the port an opportunity to respond as well. But my understanding, part of that is they haven't got any funds yet. We're how many months into the year, or how many months into this process? And so far they do not have anything from Commerce. They've hired staff, they've spent time on this effort, including the director's efforts on economic development, and they haven't got anything. So that's one answer.
Well, certainly a message I've been hearing over the months is that the RFP lacked clarity on that. And so it was like the original budget was, okay, let's control C the prior EDC budget and call that a template. But if you're asking people, do we want more dollars to invest in economic development? The answer is yes, and it's always going to be yes. So I don't know. To me, that's par for the course. Was that a motion?
It was.
Okay, I'll second 140K for personnel reasons.
We have a motion and a second. We'll continue the discussion. So we've gone from 105,000 requested to 200,000 requested to 140,000 requested. I've been on the other side of this one a lot of times. I would put this largely under business risk. I also would put it under the heading of, as a prudent body, we should not be sending messages that we made decisions based on what I would accept as this is our contract term, and then we're negotiating outside of that from a much different negotiating posture than we were in when we were considering the proposals that we received. Those are my comments. Any others before I call the vote?
Yeah, for mine, when we carved out $250,000 for economic development out of the budget last fall, it was my expectation that it would go to economic development and it would go soon. We're essentially through Q1. We have a vehicle that I trust, full of people that I trust. The risk here, as far as I'm concerned, we've raised the bar in every regard for EDC. This doesn't give me any heartburn at all, except to say I would have shipped the entire amount over. I prefer we're investing in the people of this county instead of spending money cleaning up their messes on the backside. So
yeah, I would just second that, Robert. It's not palatable to me that the county through the state taxes people on their sales tax, retains that revenue in an account here in the county and doesn't spend it. That is not palatable to me. And I think this is the best plan for spending that money in the wisest fashion to gain the best return for the people of Pend Oreille County. Pretty straightforward. Okay. I understand your point about the request for proposals and the budget in that. I think you have a point in that. But to me, this is the best plan to spend those revenues. And to me, that is one of the things that is very galling. Is I think if the average person understood that we're sitting on funds that could be spent for this, that would be shocking. So to me, it's not palatable. We should spend that. We should not be retained. And I understand there's risk in that always, but to me, this is the most risk-free that we can come up with as a county.
We have a motion in the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Nay. There's one additional point that you didn't raise that I don't know if you intentionally left it out, but reporting frequency to the Board of County Commissioners.
I think,
Settled it bi-monthly?
yeah, I think we were settled by bi-monthly. I was going on the ones that were highlighted that Dolly didn't fill in there, Robert, in the contract. They were highlighted in yellow.
I see. So I don't take Dolly's proposed contract as representative of a final agreement by the
Okay,
board.
well,
So-
absolutely. This, yeah.
So please, if you'd like to make a motion on that.
Sure. I would make a motion that the port provide the economic development updates to the commissioners in person bi-monthly.
Second.
We have a motion in a second. So I would ask you to amend your you made the motion. I would ask for one specific amendment to it, and it's not just to make reports, but to allow for discussion with port staff.
Well, I would think that would be implied that we would allow for discussion in those updates, Robert.
Okay.
Do I need to say that?
You can make that decision. I asked in good faith.
Okay.
I would hope it's just a conversation back and forth.
Yeah, add it, doesn't hurt anything. Now we've got it in black and white.
Sure. Yeah, I'll amend the motion to have bi-monthly updates and discussion from the port concerning their economic development activities to the Board of Commissioners.
Second the amended motion.
We have an amended motion and a second to that amendment. Any discussion? So I will comment, I will vote against this. Transparency has been a watchword of this body and of mine, and I believe this fails to live up to our commitment to the people who have a right to know and to be fully informed, and I believe this fails that test. Any comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Nay. All right, so Dolly will incorporate these in a contract. They will go to the port. The port will review them. We'll move forward.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, so let's have a little bit more clarity around that. Dolly will put these on. We will have to make a motion here
To sign.
to ink that
Mhm.
and then send it over. Don't know if we can.
After the port has signed it.
So our signatures are after the board?
Port is receiving funds from the county. They're the recipients, so they sign it first.
Okay, and if there's more negotiating, then I guess we'll hear then. Okay, no, that's the clarity.
Yeah, and again, just to state that, because I think there is confusion, it's going to go to the port. We filled in what our proposal is, so to speak. They're going to take a look at it. Hopefully, they're going to sign it the way it is.
Sure.
It's going to come back to us. We'll make a motion then whether to ratify it, the entire document. Okay. This is not ratifying the document.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, guys.